Let's look at what has gone on now with the Rays pitching, right? So as of last Tuesday, they were up 3-0 in the ALCS. Then over the last week, they lost 4 out of 5, and they went ice cold at the plate. Far more strikeouts than hits. Last night, they were finally able to cut that number down, and that resulted in them scoring more than 5 runs for the first time since October 7th. And so let's take a closer look at that, Jess. What was the difference for them in this game?
It was the 8th inning. I mean, this Dodgers team can hit. We've been talking about it all season long. So that 8th inning, we showed the Corey Seager home run. He leads off that inning with a home run. And by the way, after that, then Justin Turner comes up immediately after, hits a huge double. And it's like you're thinking, here come the bats of the Dodgers. This is the heart of the lineup. This is what they do. It's late in the game. And yes, it's the Tampa Bay Rays bullpen, but this was the offense that you know and expect to come for the Dodgers. Biggest difference is they've got the bullpen arms. Aaron Luke comes into this game to face the great Cody Bellinger, and he's a crazy, funky sidearm. There's so many arms that can come out of that bullpen, but to get Cody Bellinger with that strikeout, you felt like this was the inning for the Dodgers. They weren't able to do it.
Yes, the momentum felt like it was shifting in their direction, and then boom, they just put a quick stop to it. So let's highlight something specific I know that you have that makes Tampa so good and dangerous.
Okay, so you keep hearing, Greeny, about the stable of arms. You keep hearing about this bullpen, Tampa Bay Rays. Who are these guys? There are 3 dudes in specific. Nick Anderson, who throws 96 to 100 miles an hour. He got a huge strikeout to Turner there. And then Pete Fairbanks, 100 miles an hour. By the way, that's all he throws, 100, 101. 102. That was to get Chris Taylor in a huge spot, and then Diego Castillo to close out the game. These are their 3 best bullpen arms. By the way, the best slider you will ever see comes out of the arm of Diego Castillo. So these are the 3 guys. There's a whole lot more. Aaron Loop was another one we saw, but I wanted to put name and specifics because you just keep hearing about, okay, Tampa Bay's bullpen. Those 3 guys are why they got here.
Until we catch our breath for one day, the teams are tied at 1, and the pitching sets up. The way you see it right now, who has the advantage?
You know, I like Charlie Morton in Game 3. It's against Walker Buehler, and really, I mean, this is the matchup. These are the 2 best pitchers, in my opinion, for both teams. This is the matchup I was looking forward to because Charlie Morton, the best curveball in the game, and when you see Walker Buehler in that fastball, now the Dodgers have struggled against the breaking ball. I feel like that's the matchup. I mean, both these pitchers are so good, but this is Tampa Bay's best chance. If they want to get a second win, it's in this game.
Now, the 1996 Yankees were the last team to trail a World Series Love 2 and win it. The Rays, thanks to last night, will not have to try and upstage them. Teams in the World Series that won Game 2 to tie the series go on to win it 52% of the time. Teams that lose Game 2 end up winning only 19% of the time. So statistics tell us it was obviously an enormous win for them last night, and so does the eye test. So, Buster, the Rays stopping the Dodgers' momentum from Game 1 to 2. What was your number 1 takeaway last night?
Yeah, and that was what they had to do yesterday because the Dodgers had won the last 3 games in the National League Championship Series. They blew out the Rays in Game 1, and they did it with those 2 guys. The coaching staff had told Blake Snell, look, you need to attack the strike zone. The Dodgers are not going to expand the strike zone, so you need to keep the ball in the zone. He did that so well. 8 strikeouts in the first 4 innings, putting up those zeros. And Brandon Lau, this was desperately needed for the Rays that he had a night like this. We were talking with Kevin Cash, the Rays manager, before the game, and one of our group asked about him on the Zoom call, you know, what needs to happen. And Kevin, who has this great acerbic sense of humor, said, well, he's got to get an effing hit. And then he started talking about how this is someone with so much talent. There was no question, despite his struggles in the postseason, they were going to leave him at the top of the lineup because they need him to turn it around, and he did last night.
Yeah, you see the word slump on your screen. Just to put numbers to that, in the playoffs, he was hitting 107 with 19 strikeouts. We had Jessica on earlier, Buster, talking about the Tampa bullpen. Just how significant is that? Is that, if they're going to win the World Series, is it on the arms of those guys that they're going to do it?
Yeah, Greeny, this is the heart and soul of the team, and it played out last night. Because Kevin Cash knew that he had today's off day, he managed his bullpen aggressively, going with Nick Anderson and Pete Fairbanks, Aaron Luke coming in for those big outs, and then finishing the game with Diego Castillo. If the Rays win this World Series, it'll be because of this bullpen and because of the off days. I think Kevin Cash is going to be able to manipulate those guys. He's going to be able to rest those guys properly. That's their big advantage over the Dodgers.
Yeah, today is an off day. We come back with Buehler against Morton in Game 3. So as you look at the way the pitching sets up, and you just With your own eyes, see how it's going. Who do you feel has the advantage right now, 1-1 in this World Series?
I still think the Dodgers have an advantage. I picked them to win this World Series in 6 because of the depth of that lineup. It didn't manifest last night in the way that it did in Game 1, but ultimately the experience, the power, Mookie Betts and Cody Bellinger and Justin Turner, it's an overpowering offense that I think in the end the Rays will not be able to match.
The matchup that we're all waiting to see comes in Game 3 tomorrow, which is Morton against Buehler. As you see where the series shapes up, right now, best of 5, who has the advantage?
I think the Rays have the advantage in Game 3. I do think the Dodgers are the better team. I think they ultimately win the series. But Game 3 is advantage. Why? Because of Charlie Morton. He's got the best breaking ball in the game of baseball. He's been lights out in the postseason. And you think about the one weakness of the Dodgers offense, they are 5 for 25 against breaking balls in the postseason. That's huge advantage Morton. I will say Walker Buehler on the flip side. Let's not forget he has been pretty decent. He's the ace for the Dodgers too. The best fastball you will see. But guess what Tampa Bay hits better than anything else? High velocity fastballs. That's what Walker Buehler brings. Look at these numbers though. This to me is the matchup because it's both aces, the two best pitchers going head to head. Tampa Bay's best shot to win a second game.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.